Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. Welcome to Formula's One Record. It's already the 15th episode of your favorite podcast. And I'm, of course, joined by my three usual guys, Darren, Alex, and Jotis. How are you?
Amazing.
We're
Yeah.
doing good.
Yeah, Alex, you feel amazing. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gonna
Not the
explain
best
why
day.
he's feeling amazing in a bit.
We'll have a bit discussion about it. Jotis, how are you going, man?
Tough times, man.
Yeah.
Don't want to talk too much about it.
Yeah, you don't,
Fine.
but we have to talk maybe a little bit about it. We'll see before we begin, guys. Once again, don't forget to follow us, put a like, comment, share our content on our social medias, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Instagram, and X. Guys, I think we're ready to start. And we'll start this edition with the main result of the weekend, of course, FC Barcelona's victory over Real Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup. It was a very lively game, especially in the end of this first half. Crazy end of first half. And ultimately another victory for Barcelona in this competition, 3-2. The final result. There has been a lot of discussion and many major events resulted from this match. But let's talk about the match itself first. Let's go around the table, guys. I want you to give me your man of the match. Who for you was the man of this final? Darren.
For me, I think Rafinha. I mean,
Rafinha.
yeah, there were some positions which he missed, but at the end of the day, he was the top scorer and he led Barcelona to victory, in my opinion.
Kind of impressive how Rafinha is doing against Real Madrid those times. Alex,
Yeah.
you share that opinion too?
Yeah, Rafinha. He's the soul of this team. The passion he has for the team, and in each game he plays, he inspires every teammate. So yeah, Rafinha is my man of the match.
Yeah. Jotis, what about yours?
Thibaut Courtois.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
To be
Thibaut
fair,
Courtois. You remember when
Sorry.
Alex said that Szczesny was the man of the match against who? I don't remember that name, but yeah, against Real Madrid. But yeah, Thibaut Courtois did maybe he's Real Madrid best player, one of best Real Madrid best player that season too. Jotis.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he always delivers in the biggest of the games. Like you're never disappointed with Thibaut Courtois, and he did his best, but the team let him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So sad.
yeah, Alex looks very sad about that result. So yeah, we talked, of course, about Rafinha that did an amazing performance against Real Madrid. Also, a player that we have to talk about is the player that missed at the kickoff for Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappé, was not ready. The media announced that he was out for 3 weeks. He was on the bench. He came at the end of on the game, but did nothing because he has not time to do anything. We're not going to replay the match here, but in your opinion, guys, I asked Jotis first, but could this final have gone the other way if the Frenchman had been in the starting lineup, in your opinion, or not?
I think if he would have had an impact. I mean, Vinicius did great in that game, but I feel like if Mbappe had started, yeah, the result might have been looked different.
Alex, when you saw that Mbappe was not in the starting lineup, what was your feeling? Did you think that like it doesn't change anything, or you were maybe more confident? What was your opinion at that moment?
You know, I don't do ifs, buts, or maybes. I do absolutes.
Absolute.
So yeah, I mean, Mbappe missed the game. He was injured. We had so many injured players as well in the first Clásico that they won the season, and they thought they were going to dominate La Liga after they beat Barcelona side that had 10 injured players for the game. So yeah, Mbappe wasn't on the game, but we smashed them 4 times last season with Mbappe on the field. So yeah, I didn't care about it.
You didn't care about it? Okay. Let's continue. As we said, that final had a lot of repercussions, particularly for Real Madrid, which announced the departure of Xabi Alonso after only, I think, 7 months on the Real Madrid bench.
Yeah.
Darren, did you think that this decision was inevitable? And above all, do you think it was the right decision to?
I mean, when you look at the current state of Real Madrid, some people think that it was the right decision, but here is something that I want to share. I shared it with you guys in the group chat a couple of days ago. So last year at this stage in La Liga, Real Madrid was sitting with 42 points, but right now they are sitting with 45 points. Also last year in Champions League, Real Madrid had 9 points at this stage And currently, if I'm not mistaken, they have 12 points with still two more games to go. This is an improvement. Of course, it's improvement compared to unsuccessful state of Real Madrid, which was last year. I mean, it's not very wise to compare this season's Real Madrid to last year because they were really struggling last year as well. But I do believe it was a rash choice and it was a bad decision by the Real Madrid board. And I also have an opinion that maybe most people or some people will not like, but I do believe that some of the players wanted Xabi Alonso gone and they were successful in doing so. I mean, we can talk about the names if you guys want. Like, in my opinion, for example, one of them was maybe Vinicius Jr. and also Jude Bellingham, I believe. So we have a saying in Turkish. I don't know if it's still valid for English, but we say players ate the coach in Turkish. And this is exactly what happened, in my opinion. They literally ate the coach because Xabi Alonso tried implementing something really, really different to Real Madrid. Previously, in Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid, even in Zidane's Real Madrid, the players were always the leaders, always the top figures in the team. And Xabi Alonso tried to turn Real Madrid into, I mean, not exactly Barcelona, but into a completely different philosophy of football with the entire team acting together as one, playing the passing game, supporting each other, helping each other, without only one or two person being the star of the team, but rather the entire team being the stars. But of course, that hurt the ego of some players, which I mentioned previously. And then they had some struggles with the coach. I accept that Xabi Alonso maybe doesn't have the best communication with the players because I do believe if you are the manager, you're not only the coach, you are the manager who needs to manage the players as well, their egos, their communication, and everything. Maybe he failed in that aspect, but I do believe that he was a good coach and he was trying something different. So he needed some time. But in clubs like Real Madrid, sadly, you don't get the time if you don't immediately bring success.
Alex, when we hear what Darren said about the new philosophy that Xabi Alonso wanted to share for Real Madrid, and that some players may be higher than the coach itself, when you compare it, for example, with Barcelona, where you have big stars, where you have big players that you can compare with Real Madrid, what makes the difference between a coach like Hansi Flick trying to get that philosophy and who is like succeeding in that way, and for example, Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid players?
I mean, it's in everything that David said was true, and the difference between Barcelona and Real Madrid is their approach to football. It all started the whole pressure that was put on Xabi Alonso for the past months, because we heard every single day in the newspapers that the next game of Real Madrid was like the last test for Alonso. He has to win until he's gone. So it started like 2 months ago, and it had gone until now. It all started from Florentino Perez. Perez is the one that gives the players this much power, and he's the one that didn't want Alonso. Like from the start, he didn't want to approach Alonso. He had other names in mind, but he listened to other people. Like in the club, they told him, you should go for Alonso because look at what he's done with Leverkusen. He did that, and right now, because he saw the opportunity, he got rid of him. Like as soon as the things got worse, as soon as the things started to go down. But the things started to go down just because of the pressure that was put on Alonso's shoulders to not coach, but just let the players do whatever they want. It's a club thing. It all starts from Florentino, and it gave Real Madrid results because this is how they won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. This is how they won 2 Champions League with Ancelotti as well. But you have to have the right people that can manage these locker rooms with big names, big players that want to be the stars of the show. If you don't have the right person there, like Darren said, the players will eat the coach. I don't think Arbeloa is the one that can lead them to glory. My opinion, Arbeloa is nothing superior to Xabi Alonso. I even think he's worse, because let's say the players wouldn't respect Alonso because he wasn't such a like high profile player like Zidane was, for example, or Ancelotti, even for his background as a player, as a manager, even though Alonso was an amazing legend of the game. But Arbeloa, what's the background of Arbeloa? You know what I'm saying? Arbeloa is like a Florentino man. Florentino loves Arbeloa from his playing days. So one thing that you can expect is not as much pressure on Arbeloa as it was on Xabi, because Florentino didn't like Xabi. He put the pressure on. He's gone. Now Arbeloa is in. Let's see how he handles that.
Also, one more thing I want to add to what you said is that Arbeloa is probably going to give the freedom to the players which Xabi Alonso didn't want to, because Xabi Alonso was trying to create a different system, but I do believe Arbeloa doesn't have the experience to try to implement a different kind of football. He's just going to allow the football players to play freely in the way that they want, and he's going to try to end the season as best as possible with his knowledge.
Yeah, Jatis, talking about that, I would like to hear your opinion on this matter. What do you think of the treatment of Xabi Alonso over the last few weeks, last few months?
If you have seen the past episodes, I've always stood by Alonso. I've always trusted that he would turn this team around, because as a player, I love him, and as a person, as a personality, I love him so much. This, just like I mentioned before the beginning of the episode, the departure of Xabi Alonso hurt more than the defeat in the final, because I was expecting him to be not the next Zidane, but something close, legend as a player, come back and turn the struggles of Real Madrid into glory and lead the way. That was my expectation, and I believe that was expectation for a lot of fans. Even though things were not looking great, I still had hope. And the problem with Real Madrid, one thing that Real Madrid really lacks as a club is patience. They don't have any patience, and they always want win. Like, they won't settle for anything else. And the problem with managing a team like Real Madrid is you can't just get away with just managing the players. You need to manage everything that's above you as well. That includes the officials of the club, the board, president, and all the pressure that comes with it. Alonso was a methodical man. He has an organized system. He was very precise about things, and clearly the players didn't like it. And yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to the rumors. I mean, we call it rumors, but yeah, many of the players wanted him out. So yeah, I mean, you guys talked about it already. So it is a sad moment. But yeah, I agree with Alex. I don't think Arbeloa is going to take Real Madrid to glory, but the players could, because Arbeloa might do what Ancelotti used to do.
Exactly.
It could be a gamble. I mean, we could find success, but is there someone who can lead this team in front within the team? Is there someone who can step up and lead this team? I don't know. I don't think so, but let's see.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I don't know, but I feel that, in my opinion, that was not only a problem with the coach, with Xabi Alonso. I think there are also kind of problems between the players when you have such a big locker room as Real Madrid had. I remember at PSG, for example, when we had Lionel Messi, when we had Neymar, when we had Mbappe, when we had Di Maria, when we had all those players. Of course, the coach is the one that should be responsible of the good cohesion of the group. But maybe one time the coach will sub off first one player and then the other after that. So the first player will say, why is my situation is like this, and he's in not the same situation. So you will have a problem with the coach, but you will refer to the coach for your problems against some partners you have. So I think the good thing that Arbeloa can do before Real Madrid signing a new big manager next season, for example, is to reinforce the good cohesion of the group, and to, as you said, you can count on like, okay, the players are free, play as you can, and maybe you will win the trophies. But if they have to do that, they have to be in good cohesion. They have to know where to position themselves on the pitch, and to be happy for the others. Because when you have tensions between players, you can do whatever you want. You can hire the three managers if you want. It will never work. I had this experience with PSG during lots of years, and when you watch the club right now, you don't have any stars anymore. Like, you have big names, but you don't have any stars anymore, and it's not the same situation. So yeah, I just wanted to add it. Yeah, Darren, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say two things. First one is that when I blamed some of the players, but not all the players wanted Xabi out. You can just check on social media. If you're listening to this podcast right now, you can just check the social media pages of football players and see who said farewells to Xabi Alonso and who didn't, and then you will understand what I'm saying. And also one
Was
thing
there
about
someone? Was there someone who didn't say farewell?
there is
Vinicius and
actually.
Bellingham.
No, Bellingham actually posted a story, I think.
Yeah.
I expected a post from him.
Vini
shared a
did
story,
nothing.
but
Even
Vini
Rodrigo.
Vini
Even
didn't post
Rodrigo,
it.
which Alonso like put to the bench and wanting him gone, he said thanks for the support.
Yeah,
I love you,
but him.
coach, and things like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but Vini didn't post anything. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to mention. Also, another thing about what you just said, Jules, is that I remember a video of Luis Enrique and Mbappe. Maybe you know that video. Luis Enrique
Yeah.
was in a private meeting with Mbappe. He was talking about Michael Jordan and how Mbappe should help the team as a leader, not only in attack, but also in defense. I think maybe Xabi Alonso was trying something similar to what Enrique was trying to do when he first came to PSG. But that failed because PSG had Mbappe at that time, but right now in Real Madrid has more than one Mbappe. So it's 3 or 4 times the work Xabi Alonso had to do compared to Luis Enrique. I mean, he had Mbappe, which actually performed really, really well under Xabi Alonso. He had Bellingham, he had Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, so many stars, but so little time to influence them in order to make them act like a soldier instead of stars. So that's where he failed to do. And that was the downfall of Xabi Alonso, which was sad for me to admit.
And also, like we've been talking about, the next match could be Alonso's last. And we it was kind of a joke. No one really expected Alonso to get sacked so quickly. The timing of the sacking also brings a lot of questions as well, because if you zoom out and look at the big picture, Real Madrid are not exactly in a bad position. Sure, we
No.
lost an El Clasico in a final, but we're 4 points behind Barcelona in La Liga, and we're not too bad. We're not doing too bad in Champions League. We could easily go through to the knockouts and proceed to do something. But just and Xabi Alonso, he came in as a not as a temporary person. It was a long-term project even from the beginning, and everything was going great. It was going great until November, until the Atletico Madrid game, because we were winning all games. Youngsters were getting chances, and it's been and like it was November, and in 3 months he's gone. So that kind of really begs the question: is there like ulterior motives? Was there always been ulterior motives, behind this? So yeah, a lot of questions unanswered.
Yeah. Alex, you wanted to add something too.
Yeah, just like to emphasize on what Jyoti said. Xabi Alonso was in charge as Real Madrid for exactly 34 games. You know what's his record? His record is of 24 wins, 4 draws, and 6 defeats. So that's a really impressive record for me. You know what was the record of Hansi Flick at Barcelona for his first 34 games?
What was it?
24 defeats, 4 draws, and 6 losses. But
Wow.
never in one time were there rumors about Flick going out, because there was a period in Barcelona in his first season last year between November and towards the end of 2024 in which they had only won one game and they lost to so many like middle or bottom table teams like Leganés, Las Palmas. They even lost to Atletico at home, and they were really in a bad place. But the rumors never came out about Laporta not trusting Flick anymore. But yeah, it's just the club culture. It's different. I'm not saying right now that Barcelona does it better. I prefer the way Barcelona does it. But in terms of trophies, Real Madrid had more trophies in these years. Yeah, it's a club thing. It's set for Alonso, but yeah, he chose. I'm sure he's a great manager, and I think he'll come next to Liverpool after Arne Slot is going to be exposed. So yeah.
That's what you think as well. Xabi Alonso came in as a long-term project, so there's going to be struggles. So you would have patience. Especially when it's a legend of your team. Like you can't really sack a player of such stature. So yeah, begs a lot of questions.
Yeah, that is true. We'll of course have time to read the newspapers to see who is going to be the next big manager of Real Madrid. I think we all saw that the name of Jurgen Klopp. Of course, I also saw Didier Deschamps coming after the World Cup. So he has not finished his contract with France, and they wanted to sign for Real Madrid. But yeah, we'll see, guys. To end that sequence about Real Madrid and Barcelona, I of course want to speak a bit also about. Vinicius, we mentioned it a bit, but there is one thing we cannot deny. Of course, it's a very complicated season for the Brazilian. We saw that he was recently booed at the Bernabeu. His relationship with Xabi Alonso also was very complex. However, an interesting statistic has emerged. I don't know if you saw that, but Vini is, along Cristiano Ronaldo, Real Madrid's most decisive player in finals with 16 goals and assists. So that's kind of impressive, and that makes him one of the most decisive players for Real Madrid in any case. Therein, what future do you see for Vinicius? Do you think he has a bright future ahead of him at Real Madrid? Do you think he has to leave the club? Or do you think he's gonna make bad decisions and maybe leave for Saudi Arabia? I don't know. What do you see for him?
I think it all really depends on the circumstances that Real Madrid will be in after this season ends, because we don't know if Arbeloa is going to be successful and continue, or we don't know if there's going to be a new coach, for example, maybe Jurgen Klopp. So it really depends on the future of Real Madrid as well, because maybe a new coach will come, maybe Jurgen Klopp, and maybe he's going to say that I don't want someone with a big ego and I don't want someone that's going to destroy the team inside. So maybe he will not want Vinicius Jr. Personally, I think he would prefer to be in Real Madrid because he loves to be in spotlight. And if he goes to Saudi Arabia, he's not going to find that spotlight because football in Saudi Arabia is not as bright as European football. I mean, the stage is completely different. Maybe he can go to another European club, but again, like playing in Real Madrid is a huge, like whole different story. So I don't think he's gonna be very happy about that either. So I think he would want to stay in Real Madrid, but I don't know what the board will want. I don't know what the new coach will want. We'll see how it goes in the summer transfer window.
Yeah, we'll have of course lots of debates about Real Madrid. Guys, to be honest, since now 1.5 years, I have an opinion that I'm not sharing right now, but maybe I will share soon. I won't give you the name of the problem, but just one thing. Before, PSG was playing bad in big games, was not winning anything because of a player. The player left, PSG won everything. Now, Real Madrid, before, with Vinicius, with Bellingham, with Rodrigo, with all that players, were the most beautiful team of the world and won everything, and now they're not winning anything. I'm letting maybe few months is more because we have to let the time to the players and to the team, but I think there might be another problem in this Real Madrid team. We'll have time to discuss about it. I don't want to be blacklisted of French football, so I'm not saying anything right now. But if the World Cup for France isn't successful, I will say everything. Okay,
Tune in with this
guys,
podcast during summer.
Exactly. Let's move on. Talking about that, let's move on to the second part of our podcast. I think it can be a good idea that sometimes we talk about a big club of Europe, talking about its situation, talking about the squad, the results, and the different debates that this team can provoke. Today is about the European champion, PSG. An opportunity to take stock of the club situation this season, and also some issues currently on the table. Two questions first remain unanswered for PSG right now. It's the contract renewals of Ousmane Dembélé and Luis Enrique. We'll start with the Ballon d'Or winner, Ousmane Dembélé, who apparently turned down the club's offer for an extension. Sorry, that's all rumors, so we're not sure about that. But the Frenchman is under contract until 2028. In terms of figures, we're talking about a salary increase from 80 million to 30 million euros a year. But apparently, Dembélé is demanding the double of that amount in order to extend his contract. A quick question, Jotis. What would you do in the club's position? Would you accept the player's demands, even if it's Ousmane Dembélé and the Ballon d'Or, or not?
I think I would accept his proposal. Sure, he's asking for a shit ton of money, but it's not like he hasn't delivered. I mean, looks like this team. I mean, it looks like this is a solid team that could do well for the next 2-3 years at least. Yeah, why wouldn't you renew the contract?
Yeah, Darren, Alex, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with Jotis. I mean, he led PSG into winning the first Champions League ever, and he won the Ballon d'Or. So I think it's fair for him to ask for a new contract. Maybe I'm just saying this because I'm used to Turkish league giving huge wages to players. Maybe I'm biased in that, but yeah, I think Dembele deserves maybe a little raise.
Yeah, they're proposing a raise. He has 18 millions. They propose him 30 millions, which may be one of the best salaries in Europe right now. And he's asking 60.
All right, 60
That's
is
the
crazy.
situation, right?
I
Okay,
mean,
60. Now that we're talking about numbers, 60 is kind of crazy. Even in my mind, I was thinking like 30. 30 is a bit too much, maybe. And then you said 60.
30 is a lot.
Completely crazy. No,
Yeah,
there's no
60.
way he's gonna earn 60. That's completely crazy.
Alex, not talking about numbers because that's all rumors, but in PSG position, would you accept Dembele's demands in any case, or as a club, as a good structure, you won't accept all that kind of demands?
I mean, it's not like PSG don't have the money to do that, but
That's right.
it's a crazy amount of money. Has there ever been a player that earned like 60 million in salary? I don't
Well,
think so.
I haven't seen Lionel Messi's contract in PSG
Yeah,
because there were some lots of clauses and lots of different things,
yeah.
but maybe.
Yeah, I don't think the player will stand firm on this number. I think he will in the end accept the proposal. It's still 2 years from now on that his contract is up, so he still has time to not him actually, the agent, because this is all agents that we are talking about here. It's not Dembele who's asking for 60, it's his agent because he wants the commission fee and everything. The money is all
Sure.
divided. So yeah,
Mhm.
I think as we will get closer to 2028 when his contract is going to be up, the two parts will they will let loose of their conditions more. So yeah, I think he will end up extending his contract, but for like a more normal amount,
Decent.
even though
Yeah.
even more 30 million a year is not decent, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, first, let's hope that until 2028, Dembele is in good form and is playing well because we know that he sometimes may be injured. But let's hope that. To continue, Luis Enrique, the Spanish coach, is under contract until 2027, so 1 more year, 1 year and a half, let's say. We of course know that PSG wants to extend his contract at all costs and even offer him a lifetime contract. I read that. That's kind
I
of
read
crazy,
that.
but yeah. Yeah. Therein, Luis Enrique recently confirmed that he has no plans to leave the club at this time. What are your thoughts on this? Would it be better for the coach to stay for a long term or to seek a new challenge elsewhere?
I think it's better for him to stay here because he has succeeded something. He has started a road. He started this path, so he should be the one leading the team throughout this path. He changed PSG's play style. He implemented a new strategy and won the first Champions League for the team. And he's been
Mhm.
extremely successful for me up until this point. So I think it's normal for him to want to stay, and also PSG board to convince him to stay. I think it's completely normal, and I think he should stay. So yeah, I expect him to extend this contract. Maybe not lifetime, but another 2-3 years is fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hope because Luis Enrique is the best manager PSG has ever had, and yeah, we have to keep him a bit. We finished that sequence with the club last two results, notably their penalty shootout victory in the French Super Cup against rivals Marseille, and also last night defeats against Paris' other team, Paris FC,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the Coupe de France. That was a kind of unexpected result, but that makes a derby right now. Therein, first, I know you watched the game against Marseille during the Super Cups. I don't know if you guys also watch it, but
Yeah, I did.
what do you think of Paris' current level of play? The game was very undecided until the very end. Do you see some differences compared to last season?
I see some differences compared to last season, especially in the level of maybe physicality of
Mhm.
PSG players. I think last year PSG were more dominant, and right now maybe there is, how should I put it? They are more relaxed because they think they know that they're already better than most of the teams in the French league. But this is not the mentality that Luis Enrique would want from his players, and that could have cost them the cup actually, because the goal, the tie goal from Gonçalo Ramos came
Yeah.
actually very, very late, and it was a crucial moment. And also in the penalty shootout, they could have still lost. So it was a risky game for PSG side, but they knew how to end it and grab the victory, grab the trophy. So it's a fair point for them. I didn't watch last night's game against Paris FC, so maybe you can talk about that, like what went wrong in that game as well.
Well, to be honest, that game was kind of a purge. I don't know if the word is true in English, but well, as you mentioned, physically, but also in the involving of the players. We saw that some players, I talked about them before, but for example, Barcola, he's
Mm.
not the he's not the only one. But there are some players that are not in. It doesn't matter if you are playing against Paris FC in the Coupe de France or if you are playing against Barcelona in the Champions League. We remember PSG beat Barcelona 2-1 at the outside away with some young players that we have never seen before, and they won. So that makes the difference. And now I think the big problem with PSG is that young players that have a lot of gameplay because of the injuries and the missing players, for example, with the Africa Cup of Nations, are getting used to those kind of games. And I won't say that they don't want to prove anymore, but they're more comfortable in the squad. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
also the leaders of the team are not really dominant, to be honest. Barcola, even Dembele, he has been injured a lot that season, but still he's not really impactful in the game. To be honest, the only player that is in high form and that is doing great, and thanks to him, we're in the race for all the titles that year, is Vitinha. He's amazing, and he's like the team is on his shoulders. You know what I mean? And he's not there. I think the team will miss lots of opportunities, and that could be a bad thing. But yeah, I'm waiting for the Champions League. I'm waiting for big games to come. Now the team is complete. We don't have any injured players yet. We need Hakimi to come back quickly from the Africa Cup of Nations now. But yeah, well, let's see. Alex, tell us.
I mean, just because I don't know the rules, like, is there a return leg or are PSG eliminated from the?
No. There is not a return leg. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
round of 32. So yeah, eliminated from the Coupe de France. I mean, it's not a big deal, but still, when you play in France, it's like when Bayern gets eliminated by, I don't know, by Mönchengladbach or something like this in the first round of the DFK Pokal. You know, that's that. Guys, I want to move on. A sequence that I wanted to do also. It's the predictions for matches to come. We have big matches coming up this week. First, let's quickly talk about the two League Cup semi-finals. First leg, in England. Newcastle will host Man City tonight. I think, yes, the game is tonight. And tomorrow, Chelsea is hosting Arsenal. Jotis, quickly, what's your prediction for those two matches? And as a result, what final do you see in this competition?
Sorry, that's Newcastle City, and what was the other game?
And Chelsea, Arsenal.
Yeah, Chelsea are winning, and so is Man City.
The Arsenal hate this guy has is crazy.
Yeah,
I want to
Arsenal
smile
winning.
when you say that, but
Arsenal winning a trophy is something I don't wish to see.
Newcastle City also an interesting game. Darren, what are you expecting from that game, and what will be your prediction for those two semi-finals?
I mean, if City really has to still keep on holding this title race, they have to win. I mean, Newcastle is, of course, a really strong side in Premier League. And of course, it's going to be a tough game. But I believe City players need to give everything they got in order to stay in the title race. And maybe if Arsenal drops points against Chelsea, this is even a better opportunity for Manchester City to keep on going. So I believe Man City is going to win against Newcastle. And Arsenal, Chelsea, is it in
the
Stamford
League
Bridge
Cup.
or?
Therein is the League Cup, not in the Premier League.
We'll
no
cut
way.
that.
Reroll.
Well,
reroll.
that don't count.
Forget about
Yeah,
it.
we
I mean,
roll.
it still
Everything I
applies.
said, forget about everything I said then. You guys were just like sitting like this and watching me. All right, it's gonna be a good clip now.
Yeah, that's gonna go
Then
up.
everything can happen. I mean, in the League Cup, this is the Carabao Cup, right? The League
Yeah.
Cup, not the FA.
Yeah,
EFL Cup.
first leg of the semi-final, so we have time to see the final coming. But yeah,
I mean, Pep Guardiola, I don't even think he cares about Carabao Cup. He has repeatedly stated that it's not very important and he doesn't like that competition. So I think it's going to be full substitutes for Man City, maybe. So they can get knocked out by Newcastle. It's a huge U-turn, I know, from what I said previously, but that's what happens in
no, but
football.
that's two different situations.
Different
Yeah, it's
competitions,
true.
different situations. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they can get knocked out. And Chelsea Arsenal, I think it's a really, really hard game to predict. There's a new manager at Chelsea. So maybe this is going to be his time to give a fast reaction and eliminate Arsenal from the cup. I don't think Arsenal would care much also, but we'll see how it goes in that game.
Yeah, Alex, what do you think about those two games? And yeah, do you share those opinions or not?
I mean, I actually see Newcastle winning over 2 legs against City just because they have more. I'm not saying City don't have desire because City has won this competition many times before with Guardiola. Newcastle are the current champions of the Carabao Cup. They beat Liverpool in the final last year with Isaac scoring against Liverpool. Yeah, I think they will go to another final and they will face Arsenal. I don't think Chelsea can knock Arsenal down. I think Arsenal might like actually approach this League Cup with more seriousness, because if they already did get to the semi-final, why not try and win the whole competition? Because it's a trophy, and they haven't won a trophy since we were going in the streets with the masks on because of COVID. So yeah, like at least they don't they won't there won't be any more jokes around Arteta because he has no cups.
Well, let's see. I think the plan for Chelsea tonight is maybe to injure Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, and
Yeah,
Bukayo Saka to let City win the title.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. My prediction is that, of course, Chelsea is going to get a red card. That's not a bold prediction, it's a normal one. But as the game is in two legs because it's the semifinals, I think Arsenal will like play this game as they play against Liverpool. So really cool, really calm, maybe try some
Arambol.
opportunities. Exactly. And then maybe make the difference during the second leg at the Emirates Stadium. So I'm going to go with the draw between Chelsea and Arsenal. And yeah, I follow you with the Newcastle win. I think Newcastle is doing good and bad that season. We don't really know what they're doing right now, but that could be a great opportunity to win a trophy or to qualify for a final before that. So yeah, I'm going to go with Newcastle and draw between Chelsea and Arsenal. Aaron.
Yeah, Jotis, what is your question about? If yours is about those teams, you can go ahead first because mine is
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the four. Or
No,
you
I
go.
was just gonna quickly add something. Did you see what Martinelli did in the game against Liverpool when Conor Bradley got injured?
Mm-hmm.
I
He was
haven't.
so Conor
Yeah, he
Bradley had
pushed
like
him.
had like a bad knee injury,
Yeah.
and then Gabriel Martinelli pushed him off the pitch, and surprisingly, the players didn't do anything. Like normally, you would expect a big reaction
Yeah.
from his teammates, and there was
I
nothing.
mean, I think Martinelli didn't know the extent of Bradley's injury.
Yeah, I mean that could possibly be it, but then his teammates, I mean, surely
Yeah.
you would expect a reaction from them. So I was gonna say, like, if Chelsea gets a red card, I hope it's for breaking Martinelli's legs.
Yeah, well, Justice, you're right to mention that because I think the non-reaction of the Liverpool players was reflecting the game as itself. That was not a game between Arsenal and Liverpool competing for the title with players that want to fight, that want to make the best. I think the deal was signed before 0-0 draw and go back to home, and then we'll see that after. Darren, yeah, tell us.
So what I was gonna ask you actually a question if you guys know something. So there's Premier League, which is the National League, and then there's FA Cup, which is the domestic cup, and then there's the Super Cup in England also.
Community Shield.
Yeah, exactly. So what does this League Cup, the Carabao Cup, stand for? I mean, what does the winner get besides a trophy? Do they get like a European ticket or something, or
Yeah, Europa League qualification, right?
Yeah.
Europa League qualification? Okay,
Oh, do
then
they? I didn't know that.
I
So
thought only
easy.
FA
Well, the
Cup
thing,
Europa League
yeah,
qualification.
no, it's the same as the FA Cup. The only thing is that this competition is ending in February. So
Yeah.
basically, it's always City, Liverpool, or big teams that are winning it. So we don't know which is the real trophy about that. But yeah, it's the qualification in FA Cup. So, well, basically, if Newcastle wins it, they will be qualified for at least Europa League next season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's
Wow.
something to fight for.
Yeah, Swansea won it in 2013 and they went to the Europa League that year.
Exactly.
We played the Romanian team in the qualifiers.
That's why you
Yes,
remember.
Oh, yeah?
But we scored, the Romanian team scored from a bicycle kick, so yeah.
Oh wow,
It counts as 5.
Romanian football never entertain.
What? I sorry, I didn't hear.
Romanian football never fails to entertain.
Yeah. No, it actually does fail to entertain every weekend. That's why I don't follow the Romanian.
Guys, let's continue. Next up is the Africa Cup of Nations, which is drawing to a close. The two semifinals will be played tomorrow. That's going to be really, really good to see. The first game will see Senegal, who beat Mali in the quarterfinals, take on Mohamed Salah's Egypt. And the second semifinal will be between Morocco, the host, and Nigeria. Darren, what's your prediction for these two matches? And so, what's your potential final for this AFCON?
So I was saying, maybe in our previous episode or the episode one before, that Morocco and Nigeria are my two favorites. So this semifinal is a huge game for me. I'm definitely not gonna miss it. But even though odds favor in Morocco to pass to the finals, I believe Nigeria is gonna beat Morocco because I think they have a really amazing firepower. Like their attackers are better than Morocco, in my opinion, even though in an overall team, Morocco is more balancedly structured, let's say. I believe Nigeria is like more of a moments team. Some players can shine in moments like Lukman or Osimhen. So I think Nigeria is going to go to the final. And about
Okay.
what was it against? Senegal against, what was the team?
Egypt.
Senegal. I think Senegal is going to beat Egypt also in that. So I expect the Senegal versus Nigeria in the final.
Okay, interesting. So for Darren Senegal against Nigeria, let's just remind that Nigeria is the only team between those four, and I think in the competition, that has won all of their games in the competition. Maybe that can count. Alex, what will be your your expected final for this AFCON?
I think that in the Egypt against Senegal game, we'll finally see that fight between Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. You know, they faced each other in an AFCON final a few years ago, and they were still teammates at Liverpool at that time. And it was like a very fierce final. Mane won because Senegal won on penalties. And we all know that they haven't had the best relationship. Now they are not teammates anymore. They could finally let loose. Nah, just kidding. I think it will be a close game. I think Egypt will go to the final. Senegal won the last time the teams met, so they will take the revenge. And for Nigeria against Morocco, I think that Morocco will go through because overall, even though I agree with what Darren said, they have more better players up front as individualities. Morocco is a very balanced team. I think they will go to the final, and Morocco against Egypt, it's a very interesting final. As for the result for the final, I truly don't know. I think it will go to the penalties and Egypt is winning.
Egypt is winning because they're always losing in the penalties. So maybe for one time, Mohamed Salah will lead the trophy.
Yeah.
Justice, your turn. Senegal against Egypt and then Morocco against Nigeria. What will be your
Senegal will beat Egypt, and Morocco will beat Nigeria, and then Morocco would beat Senegal, and then Morocco will be champions, the Maghreb.
and Brain Jazz will be Ballon d'Or, right?
Yes, for Ballon d'Or. Poor man, he's gonna show up in Valdebebas and see all the mess.
For real, he's doing impressive, and that shows something about that player. I think we all agree that always when Brahim just played with Real Madrid, he always be, I think, pretty good. He has some really legendary goals. I remember that one against Leipzig in the 2024 Champions League. And I was thinking about that player that is like not always, but a lot of time benching on the bench during Real Madrid games. If you watch the other teams, I think he can start in any other European team, like maybe not the 2-3 big ones, but when you see that he's, I think, 25 or 26 years old, I think he has won trophies with Real Madrid. He has been impressive in the Champions League. He has been great with the AC Milan, and now he's doing a really good campaign with Morocco after choosing that nation. He's an amazing player, and I hope that he's gonna make good choices for his career because he deserves that. Jetis, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, talking about bench players, Trick, is he still playing for Lyon or is he still on the bench?
He scored. Yeah, you're right. You're right to ask that because he scored yesterday against Lille. Big game.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's that's good to ask because the Lyon supporters are fond of him right now. They all speak Portuguese right now. And he scored.
Manager.
Yeah, so that's why. So yeah, let's see how we will be doing. But for now, that's a good debut for Endrick. To finish with AFCON, sorry. So Darren, you said Senegal against Nigeria in final. Alex, you said Egypt against Morocco. Jotis, you said Senegal against Morocco. And I will close that different prediction with another different one. I'm seeing Egypt against Nigeria. Egypt against Nigeria. I think Morocco will not win that competition. Maybe they will qualify, but I'm not seeing them winning in final. I don't know why, but that's so much pressure on their shoulders for an African team to host that kind of competition that is going to be hard. The only thing that Senegal, I watched few games of Senegal during that competition, and they are not playing very well. They qualify thanks to red cards and not big level compared to Nigeria, for example, which is really increasing. They scored lots of goals in that competition. They conceded in the group stage, conceded few goals, but right now they haven't conceded any goals in the round of 16 and quarterfinals. So yeah, I'm seeing Nigeria going to the finals against Egypt. And as I mentioned, Egypt is always losing in finals. So I'm saying Nigeria winner of the competition. But we'll see. The final will be Sunday, so it's gonna be good to see who will lift that trophy. All right, we'll also have two great matches coming up in the leagues this weekend. First up is the Manchester Derby between, of course, United and City. That will be at Old Trafford. Quickly, guys, your prediction, Jetis, this Derby of Manchester.
I hope it's not an embarrassment. I hope City shows mercy to United because United are in
Will they?
shambles. And will they? That's the question. United are in absolute shambles. I would be surprised if the scoreline is less than 3-0.
Okay, so big win for City in your opinion, right?
Yeah.
Alex, do you share that prediction?
City are gonna win 6-1. Doku is gonna score the last goal, and he will like lift his shirt, and it will write on his shirt, "Why always me?"
Mario Balotelli.
Okay, that's a good prediction. Maybe Semenyo can do it too.
Yeah, Semenyo is a better fit for that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he scored with City in the cup. I
Yeah.
saw that when they won 10-1 or something like this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
against Exeter. And you know, his exit from Bournemouth, bro, it's so poetic. So he stayed for
Yeah.
the team this summer because they really sold all their best players and he was the only one
Mhm.
left. He stayed for another 6 months, helped them, carried them through this first half of the Premier League. Then in his last game for the club, he scored the winning goal against Tottenham,
Yeah,
left and scored for City 3 days later.
Crazy man.
that's a great story.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's a
Proper
great
baller.
story, and especially because he scored against Tottenham. That makes the difference, right?
Yeah.
There's always Tottenham in the mix catching strays.
Well, we have to. We have to. Darren, your prediction for this Manchester Derby?
You know what? I think Michael Carrick is going to park the bus really, really hard. So
Yeah.
I don't expect too many goals from that derby. I think Manchester City is going to win, but maybe something like 1-0 or like just 2-0 maybe. I'm not sure. Something like really, really close. Not because Manchester
Yeah.
United play is going to match the level of Manchester City. They're not going to match the level, but because he's going to play the biggest haram ball we've ever seen in Manchester history.
Okay, well, in my opinion, I'm seeing City to win. Also because they have to. They are 6 points behind Arsenal, and they haven't won a game since 3 games in the Premier League right now. 3 draws against Sunderland, Chelsea, and Brighton. So they really need to win if they want to at least compete with Arsenal until the end. So I'm seeing short, maybe as you said, there in a short victory of Man City, maybe 1 or 2-0. But it's gonna be good to see that game, and yeah, let's hope to see a great derby between those two teams. We'll finish with the big match in Germany. I wanted to talk about that game too, because RB Leipzig will host Bayern Munich that just won against smashed Wolfsburg. As always, guys, does anyone see an upset coming in this match? Alex, maybe?
No, Bayern are gonna win 5-0 or something.
Yeah.
That competition is dead. You know what would be interesting? They have to relegate Bayern to the 5th division and they have to climb up if they want to win the title again.
Yeah, that would be a
Mhm.
challenge.
They have
Yeah,
to do
for
like
real.
FIFA career mode challenges. Nothing else you can do.
Yeah. I mean, this is
Mhm.
probably like one of the best, I mean, not in terms of, not best, but like one of the biggest gap in Bundesliga history because in the last couple of years, I think it was kind of close, except for the season where Leverkusen won. You know, Dortmund
Mhm.
chasing Bayern. I mean, in some seasons, Leipzig were chasing Bayern, but this season, right now, Bayern has 44 points, and the closest one, Borussia Dortmund, has 33 points. So that's a
Yeah.
11-point gap in January, which is
Instead
crazy.
the half of the season in Bundesliga.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's no competition.
Yeah, but
Alex.
yeah, just like because we talked about the difference, you know, there has been another team this year in Europe that from 17 league games, they have won 16, only drew 1, and conceded 4 goals. And actually their league is quite competitive, and they managed to do that. Can you guys guess who that is?
Is it in Netherlands?
No, not.
No.
It's not in top
Is it
5 leagues, right? Is
it's
it?
not, but it's definitely right after the top 5 leagues.
Oh, so Portugal maybe.
Portuguese?
Sporting Lisbon
Exactly.
or
Sporting Lisbon?
Portugal.
Porto.
Porto.
It has to
Porto.
be Porto, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I haven't
Porto.
been
Wow.
following Portugal League actually
Mhm.
this season.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually looked at their record and I went crazy. Like, how can you actually do that? Concede only 4 goals, win 16 out of 17 games, and the only game in which they dropped points was a 0-0 draw against Benfica.
Wow,
Wow.
that's actually
That's
crazy. I mean,
How are they
Yeah.
doing
the
in
most
Europe?
part is not even like winning
They are
16,
in the
but
Europa League.
conceding 4 goals is actually crazy.
Yeah. Mad. Is there anyone notable? Like, is there any big players there at the moment?
Thiago Silva just signed for them at
Makes sense.
50 years old.
and
50,
there's
you
also
say?
the
Nah, just kidding.
no, but nearly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's also another player, guys. The Samu,
yeah,
yeah.
Samu
Oh, yeah.
Chukwueze.
The Spanish forward is. I don't know if he's doing good that season, but I remember that name because yeah, he was kind of a young, good process and prospect for big teams. So yes, that's impressive that Porto is doing so great. But when you see how Benfica is playing under Jose Mourinho and his performances, you can maybe understand. I read that Benfica wanted to sign Ruben Amorim instead of Jose Mourinho right now. So imagine that Jose Mourinho is leaving Benfica, Amorim is coming, and maybe Mourinho coming back in Manchester United. Imagine the message.
Let's
I
keep
wa- I
the
I
Well,
want to
score
know
goals.
what are Benfica board smoking since they hired a failed Mourinho and then right now they want Amorim. Who's next after that? Maybe Ten Hag?
Yeah,
it's because of Neres. You remember?
Oh yeah.
He left the club and left maybe thousands of kilos of I don't know why. So maybe they are smoking good things in Portugal.
good one. Yeah,
For real.
Guys, just before we finish, well, we're doing the press review really quickly. I wanted to talk a bit about the transfer window of January. So we saw several signings that have been taken place so far. And read to Lyon, we talked about it. Semenyo's transfer to Man City also we talked about it. We've also seen Gendouzi sign for Fenerbahce.
Yeah.
And
he had a
also
really-
Joao Cancelo joined Barcelona. Guys, question for you: can we expect any other interesting transfers during this transfer window? And who are maybe the players you're gonna watch closely during that certain part of the season? Maybe Jotis, do you have a name you wanna share?
I can't think of any big transfer rumors that are going on at the moment. Maybe all that is drowned by all the other shit that's happening. So yeah, I'm not familiar with any at the moment.
Yeah,
I think Raspadori signed for Atalanta. I mean, I don't know if it's official yet, but they're about to sign or they signed him. So I think that's a good addition for Atalanta.
yeah. Therein, two things. I want you to speak maybe a bit about Gendouzi, but first, you remember you mentioned on our group chat that Galatasaray was interested by signing Fabian Ruiz playing at PSG. I just saw an info from a journalist that said that Fabian Ruiz is gonna extend his contract with the PSG. So basically, I don't know if that was rumors for Fabian Ruiz to raise his salary with PSG, if there were completely false rumors, or so. Yeah, basically.
When Turkish clubs are involved, there can be rumors because agents do this on purpose. They call the reporters and they said, you can write about this, like this is happening right now, just to make their hands stronger in the transfer negotiations. So maybe, like you said, that's what his agent did in order to increase his salary. But yeah, I mean, when you look at it in a logical way, I didn't expect him to come to Turkey just yet because he just won the Champions League. He's one of the best midfielders in the world right now, and he's 29 years old, so he still has a way to go in European football, like in the
and he
top.
still has hair.
What?
He still has hair.
Yeah,
But-
exactly. Maybe if he
Like-
starts,
But like Gendouzi has a lot of hair too, but he's signed for
Gendouzi
Fenerbahce.
is
So
going to be like an advertisement. Come to Turkey, so you'll have hair like Gendouzi.
exactly. That's why they signed him.
That's why they paid a lot of money for Gendouzi. I mean, imagine
Exactly.
if Mbumo had hair, his value would be insane.
Yeah.
Just to finish, Alex, are you happy with Joao Cancelo joining Barcelona during this transfer window? Do you expect him to be a good right back, maybe instead of Koundé? What is your opinion on that?
I'm happy with his transfer. I don't expect him to be a starter. He will play the small games in the league, maybe in the cup as well. Any player that comes in, it's a good player, taking into consideration that we are more broke than Romania's economy. So yeah, it's a good transfer.
Yeah, good transfer. Also, as you said, maybe he will play like little games. I don't know, guys, if you share that opinion, that when you see the level of Jules Koundé right now with Barcelona, but also with French national team, it's kind of a
Disappointing.
difficult situation for him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't been as good as last year for sure. I don't
Yeah.
know what happened to him, and he was all right against Real Madrid in the Super Cup final, but we all know how Vinicius cooked him for the goal. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe he is thinking more and more into fashion, and he will retire 2 years from now on. I won't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's a good thing to sign Joao Cancelo, to give him maybe more, like, not dubs, but he will be maybe more in
Yeah,
I don't know. He will try to be better and to prove that he's the impact player that he has been recently. Jatis, yeah.
Just talking about the El Clasico, the only fun moment from that game that I saw was after the final whistle. Did you guys see Arda Güler kicking a bottle and then
yeah.
falling down?
Yeah, I saw.
Generational aura depth, man. That was unbelievable.
Oh, that's an aura that the whole Turkish treasury should go.
Yeah.
And do you know what happened? Both posted that video, but instead of saying, that's like Arda Güler fell down, they said, "Oh, look at Rafinha! Look at how excited he is to enter the pitch after the game." But everyone knew that video was for Arda Güler. People were going crazy in the comment
All the
section. But
Turkish
yeah,
fans, man,
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
change the spotlight. Yeah, but that
yeah.
was a
But
fun video.
that was fun. Yeah.
Well, Jotis, glad you have the smile talking about that game and talking about Real Madrid now. That's the routine. It's the objective of this podcast, guys, to have the smile after it. That's already the end of this episode. I thank you very much all for watching or listening to us on our various platforms. Once again, feel free to follow us on social media. It's really important to us. And then we'll see you next week at the same time. Bye, boys. Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you,
See you
guys.
next.
Bye, everyone. See you.